What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. And if you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about a wide receiver that I really think can take a big jump this season. And I don't know why this is really bothering me, but oh well. This one piece of hair is not fixing itself. I apologize. I'm just going to sit like this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to sit like that. I'm just going to turn my head a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But overall, I'm going to be talking about Tylan Wallace. I apologize for the interruption. But Tylan Wallace, I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. And everybody, when they talk about the Baltimore Ravens wide receiver core, they talk about Bateman, obviously. They talk about Duvernay. I think Prochet is talked about a little bit more than Tylan Wallace, and I think Tylan Wallace needs to be brought up in that conversation. I feel like Tylan Wallace has a chance to be the number 2 wide receiver in this Baltimore Ravens offense. And that's no disrespect to Devin Duvernay. That's no disrespect to James Prochet or any of the other players that you want to say have a chance. And I understand wanting another wide receiver for the Ravens. I'm not going to say I don't want one. But if the Baltimore Ravens are going to stick out with the wide receivers that they have, Tylan Wallace can absolutely be the player that they need. He can run good routes, he can get a jump ball, and he has very sure hands. Those are 3 things that are always necessary when you have a Baltimore Ravens wide receiver. And the benefit is we know that he's willing to go the extra mile because he already plays special teams. And a lot of people may be like, oh, well, playing special teams, that's not a benefit. No, it shows that you are willing to do the work to stay on the roster. Last season, he was a gunner for the Baltimore Ravens, and he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. And overall, last year, he showed promise. Did he have mind-boggling stats? No. No, he did not. However, whether it was in the preseason or it was in the games that he played in, he looked good. He wasn't in a lot. He only started 1 game, so it's difficult to judge and say this guy's a superstar or anything like that. But the reason why he fell in the draft was not ability, it was availability. He had a significant injury, which is why he ended up sliding to the Baltimore Ravens on day 3. But if not for those injuries, this was a player that was talked about as potentially could be a first-round pick, when he was coming into college, but definitely a day 2, possible round 2 selection. The Ravens ended up snagging him in round 4, and what he brings to the table, I brought it up, is that jump ball ability, and that is something the Baltimore Ravens have not had. They have not had it. The last guy that they had that could consistently get a jump ball was Anquan Boldin. And if you don't know, the Ravens won a Super Bowl with Anquan Boldin. The Baltimore Ravens would love to have a player that they can consistently rely on in situations where they need a big play, because sometimes you need that spark. The Kansas City Chiefs, what makes them so difficult is that you can be bottling them up and all of a sudden Tyreek Hill gets behind the defense and a 70-yard touchdown breaks the game open. The same thing happens for the Chargers with Mike Williams, the Buccaneers and Mike Evans. Overall, when you have a player that can make a highlight play, it helps your team gain momentum. And Tylan Wallace is a highlight play maker. So was James Prochet, but Tylan Wallace was the guy that was the best jump ball wide receiver in college football over his tenure at Oklahoma State. That is the player the Baltimore Ravens need. That is the player the Baltimore Ravens can use. And now that he has a full season under his belt for the Baltimore Ravens, he can show that, hey, he has developed, because in college he lined up on one side of the field. He lined up on the right side of the field every play. Now, that may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but it is a big deal, because the way that you look back to the quarterback, the way you attack the ball, the way you run these different routes, it's all dependent on each side of the ball. If you're running an out route on the right side of the field, your approach to catching the ball is going to be very different than it is on the left side of the field. If you don't have the feel for getting your toes down on the left side of the field, that's going to make it very difficult on the left side of the field. So you got to make sure that you're able to develop, so when you make sideline catches, it's not just on the right side. When you make a jump ball catch, he's used to looking to his left at the quarterback, and I just now am realizing I'm pointing to the right. He's looking to the left at his quarterback when he goes up and makes that catch. That's more difficult on the opposite side, all right? Now, it is a skill that can absolutely be developed. It is a skill that he will have. But now that he has a full year of practice under his belt, one of the things that when he came in was getting him on both sides of the field so they can really use him. Now that he actually has that, I don't want to say experience because he hasn't done it a lot in game, in practice at least, he's gotten used to it, and that is a benefit, and the Baltimore Ravens can use that. Any player that can make a big play is beneficial to an organization. But when your calling card is making big plays, that's what the team is drafting you for. The Baltimore Ravens did not draft Tylan Wallace to be a back-end roster guy. They drafted him because they recognize that he has an innate ability to make difficult plays happen. That is how they are going to use him. He's going to be a very key part of this offense. He's going to be a key part of this team, and I cannot wait to watch him play. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Tylan Wallace. Is he going to step up into that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 role? Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.